My dad loves to tell my siblings and I how easy we have it in the mornings. When we complain about having to roll out of bed at 7, my dad will usually reply with one of these three things. I had to get up at sunrise before school to milk the cows. I used to throw square bills in 100-degree summer weather. And my personal favorite, I had to walk to school uphill both ways. If my family lived on a dairy farm like my dad grew up on, our chores would be a lot less strenuous, thanks to modern technology. Now, today's dairy farmers certainly work hard, but thanks to modern technology like robotic milkers, computer-controlled feeding systems, and other fleets of machines, they get to work smarter instead of harder. In the 1920s, when the first milking machine was invented, it was the greatest technological wonder in agriculture. Up until then, the farmers had to milk all of their cows by hand, and a farmer could only handle about 10 to 15 cows on his own. After the invention of this milking machine, farmers could now have 30 to 40 cows on their farm, and this was a major improvement. Compared to today, dairy farmers can have thousands of cows on their farms and have multiple cow rotary parlors. Computer-controlled chips in each cow allow for the right amount of feed, tracks the cow's production, and even lets the farmer know if the cow is getting sick or not. Technology in the egg sector is nothing new, but the technological revolution we have seen in the last few decades is very impressive. From auto-steering tractors to genetically modified organisms, we have greatly improved the efficiency on the farm. Back in the 1940s, one farmer alone could feed about 15 people on his farm. But today, a single farmer can feed hundreds of people thanks to new technology. According to J.P. Penn, the chief economist for John Deere Agriculture, we have seen 4 major technological advances in the last century. The first was mechanization. Back in 1915, there were 25 million horses used on farms and ranches. Today, that work performed by those horses is now done by tractors, combines, and other machinery. The next advancement was crop hybrids and genetics. A great example of this was corn. From the mid-1800s to the 1940s, corn averaged about 40 bushels per acre. After the development of these hybrids, we are now able to see yields increase dramatically, and we can now get 170 bushels per acre of corn. The third advancement occurred after World War II, when chemical fertilizers and pesticides were introduced, and together they further boosted yields. The final one occurred in 1990 with genetically modified organisms, or GMOs for short, which helped plants' ability to fight off pests and also allowed us to introduce new herbicide technologies to use on them. So where is the future of technology headed? Well, we can already see so many advancements in technology in the agriculture, such as robotic milkers, satellites, yield monitors, and drones. How do these help improve the efficiency on our farm? Well, a great example is auto-steering tractors, which allows and makes sure there is no overlapping during planting, spraying, or fertilizing, which not only saves the farmer money, but also helps the environment by assuring there is no overlapping during planting or spraying. According to Penn in 1850, it took 83 hours of labor and 2.5 acres to produce 100 bushels of corn. But today, it only takes 2 hours of labor and half an acre of land to produce that same 100 bushels of corn. We can also see robotics being used in agriculture, and we already see this in robotic milkers. But what about robots that can roam through our fields killing weeds, or picking fruit, or building a fence? These systems may not be as far off as we think, because we are already making so many advancements in technology. My family recently visited Disney World, and we visited an exhibit at Epcot called Living with the Land. During our boat tour, we saw many new concepts of agriculture being introduced, such as aquaculture, vertical agriculture, and other conservation measures. One display even merged aquaculture and vertical agriculture together. The fish tank water was cycled through the plants, and not only did it water and fertilize the plants, but it cleaned the water to then be recirculated back into the fish tank. This is a great example of thinking outside the box that future generations will continue to use to make advancements. It is estimated that by 2050, 80% of the population will live in cities. Vertical agriculture could be a great way to bring food closer to the population base. So as we can see, we have made so many advancements in technology already that create less labor-intensive work and create more profit for the farmers. Maybe one day we'll really create cows that give chocolate milk on their own, or robots that can weed our gardens and make our beds. Who knows? But what we do know is that technology is continuing to provide great advancements for agriculture. My great-grandfather probably couldn't have even imagined a robot milking a cow, and now it's a reality. The future of agriculture is looking very promising. Thank you.